How are all my champions doing? My champions? Everyone's a champion this year. We got, I guess, a couple of things to quickly talk about. The majority of the panel is going to be kind of Q&A, so the latter second portion, which is going to be about 30 minutes, will at least be answering your guys' questions for myself or anybody else that's up here, or as a group. But, man, the amount of stuff we've been getting ready for this, Simmons is like, Jesus, you have a Yo Video Games press conference today. Like, we got quite a few things that we want to show you guys, and of course, the big thing I wanted to say is thank you, everyone. Evo's crazy this year, and seeing this room pretty much full is kind of, it hurts. It hurts because I want to make everyone happy. Like, I want to make sure everyone gets a Benny pin, which is going to be free, and everyone gets a poster, which will be given out right after the panel concludes. We wanted to do the last panel in the day so that we can have anyone that wants to get that stuff come up to the front and you can get it. We got enough for everyone, so thank you guys for coming. All right, but first up, we have a few videos that we'd like to show you guys. Been working pretty diligently in the background, and over the past, I'd say 2 years, you guys might have noticed like a lot of the stuff that we've wanted to do for a while is like taken a long time, mostly because I've been working full time on Killer Instinct. And with that game in its time, I've like tried to keep as many videos up on the YouTube channel and stream as consistently as possible. And these guys have actually helped out with that a lot. And I want to give a huge shout out to anyone that has done editing for me in Hype and Rage compilations, montages, and stuff like that. Guys like Ender Gamma, guys like Hawk. There's so many of them to mention. Give them a huge shout out because their editing is fantastic. But I got something else I want to show you guys. Do we know where the lights are? 'Cause I want to dim the lights. Are they literally right over there? Can we? Helix is. That is the opposite of what I like.
A little bit.
Okay.
A little bit more.
Is anyone? Okay, the back? That's fine. Okay, at least we can see what's going on. So, we did a couple of things since the last Evo panel. We showed off I think it was the Predator preview. Who saw the Predator and Alien Assist Me? Who saw it live? Okay, that's pretty crazy. A lot of folks do check it out on YouTube, and that's where like the full movie is. But having, in my opinion, like the live experience of like being there when the crazy stuff is happening, and we don't know how it's going to go down a lot of the time because it depends if anyone misses their mark or forgets a line or something like that. So it's crazy. It's like the entire time when we have a movie that goes on for 2 hours, it's crazy.
Whatever do you mean?
Yeah, no.
Misses a line or mark.
Don't worry about it. Not talking about myself at all. Or when I completely go nuts playing an online match, which is a side of anyone that you should not see playing a fighting game. And I have a short PSA for you guys about being salty and playing fighting games. Enjoy.
Okay, what's up, guys? I got something really important to discuss. You might have noticed it for a long time. We haven't done tutorials on this channel. There's a really good reason, and I've wanted to talk about it for a long time. You also might have noticed some weird, like, transformation type stuff happening. One time I thought I was a gangster.
When I go through this shit, I want extra meat and no bullshit, right? All right.
Other time I thought I went full anime.
Mitsubishi!
And then I became an edgelord.
Sorry.
It's been an interesting couple of weeks. But for one thing I can tell you, there's a good reason why these tutorials aren't happening. And there's something that hides deep in the heart of everyone that plays fighting games. Something that you don't exactly want to talk about. An element of elitism about everything you do.
I'm going for a mix-up, and he's not even using his brain.
These feelings are very weird to me. Because I just want to help people out in some way, but I can't deny it. I have noticed that few things do actually trigger the situation to happen, where you go absolutely crazy when playing fighting games and become salty to no end. And you look ridiculous. Like, you look absolutely ridiculous when you're acting that way. It's insane how stupid you can look. And I just don't want that to happen. So from now on, a lot of things are going to change on this channel, and I want everyone to be a lot more...
Hey, Max.
Oh, it's Benny. Everyone loves Benny, right? He's one of the actual reasons that I've been able to hold this back for so long. Benny, how you doing, man?
Did you know Third Strike's the worst Street Fighter game? It's horribly unbalanced and takes no skill to win.
You dirty, scrubby dog! Wouldn't know a good fighting game if I bit him in the ass! Have you ever been toppy? Dog God! God, it's happening again!
You're in for a treat. Tonight, you will get good. This must be an interesting day for you. Not always is it someone of your kind gets to view a god. Tonight I hear your cries across the galaxy. They pierce our ears. You don't know what to do. I don't know what to call this. You don't speak the master's language. The language of fighting games. You'll never hit a one-frame blink while roll canceling into an epic DC. It falls on all deaf ears. Disgusting, really. But I am a god of mercy. Today I teach you pitiful creatures what fighting in lingo is, how to speak the language. Today begins a long evolution of getting good. Lesson 1, free. What does it mean to truly be free, you ask? Your kind has much experience with this. You're all free to an extent. You're all free to me. To be truly free, you must understand its terminology. What is free? You occasionally visit IHOP for their free pancakes. The oxygen you breathe that gives you life is free. Your mother on Sundays is free to me. This is what it means to be free. The match was easy. It took no skill, no effort. It was a double perfect. All these are free. You mean nothing. You're free. Lesson 2. Footsies. I've heard this term so much it makes me want to vomit blood. Footsies this, footsies that. I have them. He doesn't. Disgusting. Footsies is the delicate balance between the player's attacks. It's a ballet, you could say. We watch it like it's high art, but you treat it like a joke. Wretched creatures, touching each other with their hoofs. Footsies is the space of your attacks, understanding your opponent, when they can attack you, how far does that attack go, and then avoiding, punishing, capitalizing. You commonly see people walking back and forth, and it appears to be the most boring thing in video game history. Alas, it is not. This is fighting games. These are footsies, and if you don't respect your opponent's attacks, you will die. And I will enjoy it. Final lesson, meaty attacks. I can already see the confusion amongst your face. You have no idea what meaties are. I will teach you. What could possibly be meaty in fighting game? Because the only thing you associate with meat is this! How dare you consume such creatures? We eat plants and plants alone, and it gives us the energy of the universe! But I digress. I'll tell you what meaties are. Meaty attacks are used when your opponent is knocked to the ground. The upending player will approach the opponent and put a move inside their body. It is very sexual. This will prevent your opponent from waking up with any moves. And depending on the fighting game, some reversals don't have invincibility. A meaty attack simply allows you to keep your opponent pressured after knockdown. Would you like me to spell it out for you? Disgusting creatures. All this is falling upon deaf ears. I know not why I do it. And that concludes my discussion for today. If you wish to know more, I encourage you to use your sticky fingers to post a comment below. Tell me your quarrels. Tell me what you don't understand. And if I feel pity for you and your kind, I will return. Until then, I will always be here, by your side, telling you how awful you are at everything. And you constantly need to strive to do better. Get good, or die trying.
Hey, what did I say? We good? All right, I think we're good.
So that was different. That was a little different. I've wanted to do a fighting game tutorial series for a long time, and in all honesty, like this Scrub Lord character, which was inherently spawned from the best friends and their challenge through a terrible, terrible game. Shout outs to Wooly. Shout outs to Wooly. You guys birthed a monster.
What have you done?
I've kind of wanted to do something where a character is like completely the opposite of myself, and I don't know if you guys like this stuff. The video is going to be on YouTube today. Leave a comment if there's any weird things you don't know about fighting games or want tutorials on. Maybe the Scrub Lord will return and talk very down to you about everything. But you might learn something if you listen deep between the cracks. You might learn something. So there's one other thing that I talked about quite a long time ago, and this might go back to the panel that we had it was actually at LVH before Westgate happened. And this was the first time Kenny, it was the first time Steve were actually at a panel, and they barely made it. And we showed a video to Asura's Wrath. How many of you guys were here for that? That was a few years ago. And wow, that's like 1/10 of everybody. Holy crap. So at the time, during that panel, I'm talking about a show that I've been wanting to do for over 4 years. This is something that I've discussed, and I swear, like 3 of the panels of the 5 that we've been here, and it just never happened simply because I became like a full-time employee doing cinematics for Killer Instinct, and that took 2 years, and I now have an opportunity to finally pursue it. So I'd like to give you guys the first very brief preview of a show called Fighting History.
Street Fighter Alpha. You got so many modes, girl. Oh, Kakuto Chojin. Sweet Jesus, I think this was banned in 40 countries. Oh, Virtua Fighter 4 Evo. God, you were so cheap, and not in a good way. Capcom Fight. Be gone!
What the hell is going on in here? Are we moving again?
Trying to find a good game to start on for this fighting game review show I've been wanting to do for like 4 years.
That sounds kind of neat. What's it gonna be like?
Well, it's gonna kind of be like JonTron and Angry Video Game Nerd, just not nearly as good.
Well, how about you start with my favorite fighting game?
Wait, you? You have a favorite one?
Dude, it's gonna be perfect.
All right, well, I mean, you are a really good dog. You kind of saved us from a couple of aliens. Yeah, sure, go ahead. I mean, yeah, go find one.
All right, sweet. Just stay here. I'll be right back.
That's a funny dog. Thinks he knows fighting games. Man, should probably start on the Dreamcast. Soul Calibur. Freaking perfect.
Found it.
Well, that was fast, Bender. Here, let's see what you got.
Holy shit!
Where did you find that?
In the closet, Max. I buried it in the closet.
It's destroyed. No one should ever be allowed to.
Play it. It's the best fighting game ever.
Ever?
You promised you'd play it for your son, Manny. It's gonna be awesome.
Thank you, guys. So, the whole point of Fighting History is that I've been really inspired by a lot of fellow YouTubers and content creators over the years. Like, Angry Video Game Nerd was a giant inspiration for a Sesame series in general, like when we started it back in 2011. And then other guys that are like at the top of the class, like John Tron, who was some of the funniest stuff on the internet. And even like Sequelitis, and I'm just like, man, I want to do something like all these guys do. It's just going to be not nearly as good. And that's kind of the theme of Fighting History, is that I want to review old, crappy fighting games. Like the ones that aren't like, man, we should do Alpha 3. No, let's do like War Gods. Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll play that and lose my head. And that's going to be the show. I'm going to try to do at least one episode per month. I'd like to keep to that schedule. You guys know me, it gets kind of crazy, but I would like to dedicate to getting some more consistent stuff with these shows out, get some more Scrublord things, like get that consistently going. And yeah, how many of you guys have watched some of the other shows that have shown up on the channel, like Quarters Up and stuff like that? Have you seen those? I kind of love that stuff because it's fighting games that people might not commonly be associated with. We covered like Rival Schools and Power Stone. I think up next on is a virtual on. And next up is a virtual on game, and then I think I do Tekken 6 arcade mode and fight Azrael. Thank you. That was it. And stuff like that. It's just going through basic arcade modes of select fighting games and just kind of see what they're like, how many quarters they would take to beat in an arcade setting. It's like the whole point. Anyway. I got a lot of stuff planned, but we got one other thing that we wanted to show you guys. So you checked out, some of you guys were able to see the live stuff that happened with a Sesame Alien and a Sesame Predator and the Jason thing that happened recently, and it was all focused around like one certain game. And I know a lot of people have asked me like, why don't you do a Sesame for this or that? It really comes down to inspiration. Like it comes down to if we got a really sick idea that we want to do, or if we have a good story element that makes this seem like it could be compelling. That's once that hits my brain, I can't stop, and like it's like 90 miles an hour straight to the finish. Thank you.
That's me.
And
crack. We need a lot of crack.
For all of these shows, I try to incorporate as many throwbacks and people as possible. But there's one thing I do want to show you guys before we move on to the Q&A session, and I hope you like it. Enjoy.
I was raised to play Marvel, and now it's dead. There's stories about what happened. It's true. All of it. Dr. Doom, Wesker, Laura, it's all true.
Marvel is calling to you. Just don't get hit.
We should use the Force!
That's not how the Force works.
We want to bring back a Sesame Ultimate Marvel 3. So we've been talking about a good way to do this for a long time, and after the conclusion of the Alien as Sesame, where we pretty much brought back like a lot of the people that made the core Sesame project, like Mike and Andrew was helping out, we were like, man, I just don't like playing Marvel anymore. There was something about Ultimate Marvel 3 that lost my interest around 2013, which was the big reason why there was no more conclusion to a Sesame. And at that time, we did not have a really cool, or we had a plan of where it was going, but the amount of time and dedication it was going to take around the time frame where I was going to be working full time on Killer Instinct was just a little too much. So the interest was just kind of dropped. But after all the stuff that we've been doing with the Predator, Jason, Alien, live action shows, we got a pretty good idea. So the conclusion of the Assist Me story, which is going to include like Kenny and Steve and all like the characters you know from like modern streams and videos we made over the past 2 years, because it's like a lot of people don't even know we did this. Like so many people over the past couple years don't even know that we had this huge show for around Marvel vs. Capcom 3. And we want to incorporate all that stuff into a live action event. That'll be taking place similar to Alien and Predator, and that is pretty much in development now. Like we have a pretty good idea, and for all you guys that have been asking Assist Me for all those years, thank you for your passion, and I want to do it for you guys. Okay.
So basically, it's kind of like add to that. The idea, because the problem is that we actually did film a whole lot of season 3, and it never got finished. Some of it was actually, a chunk of it was actually edited, and then there was your
OS crashed.
Yeah, in 2014, I had an operating system crash, and I thought I backed up everything except all my actual Vegas files, which is Sony Vegas, the editing program, was on the desktop. And I took huge oversight on myself. So our source footage still exists, but all the work it took to put the source footage together was immediately lost, as well as 4 years of making videos. And I had to start over completely again. But we have all the filmed footage still.
Yeah, the footage exists. It just is no longer edited together. I actually have 2 scenes right here of raw editing from season 3.
And that's kind of what we used in this trailer. Simmons came to me with the trailer right before we were about to leave, and he was like, I want to show something. And he had this idea for a Star Wars themed Assist Me trailer, because it's like, man, everyone's forgot about it. It's just like the Star Wars trailer. So it was perfect. We fine-tuned it, took the footage, put it together just for you guys, just for this, because we definitely want to do it, and it's going to be the next big project that we're going to do.
So what you're telling me, what I'm getting from all this is I'm going to need to build another Wesker costume.
Maybe.
Okay.
We're going to need a 9-foot Thanos. 9-foot Thanos. Can we turn on the lights? Because right now I want to start up Q&A for any of you guys that might have questions.
Yeah.
If you guys want to start up a line like right around the middle and just ask right here. Super screaming.
So I don't know exactly how you want to do it in the future, but for what we're going to do initially is like Alien, Jason, Predator. You're not going to get a super in-depth tutorial during the stream.
So the idea, during the stream, that'll just be pretty much story and interactive movie type stuff. But afterwards, there's going to be a recurring theme in the finality of the Marvel Assist Me stuff. And that theme is going to be how broken all the Marvel games are. So it's not going to be just about Ultimate Marvel 3. It's going to be about all the Marvel vs. Capcom games. And the underlying element behind it all is being broken. And it'll still be a tutorial about every single game. And I hope you guys will like it. So we'll answer a few questions for like 30 minutes or so, and then we're here, like I said, till the end of the day. If you guys have anything that you'd like us to sign or want free posters or free buttons, we actually have 4 emotes that are from the channel. I think it's Sapo is an actual button. We got Kenny's 5-time hand. We got, it's escaping, like we got Dude 5, that's the one. Oh, that's that right. No, Dude Bro. Dude Bro, you confused me. Dude Bro. And we got one other. Is it Benny? No, the big Benny button everyone's getting right now.
Everybody's got it already.
It's up there.
Just shine on, yeah.
Oh, it's shine on. That's right. The last one's a shine on button. So those will all be free, but they're in limited quantity. But you can choose from 2 of any of them, and we should be good. Anyway, let's answer some questions. What's up, man? How's it going?
Hey, how's it going, Max? First and foremost, thank you so much for all the stuff you've been doing on Twitch, on YouTube.
Thank you.
Please don't ever stop. All of you. It's awesome.
I'll try.
Kind of a mix of question and suggestion. First, do you have any, aside from Rise of the Robots, do you have any other titles lined up for fighting history that you want to do?
The one that immediately comes to mind, like I said, War Gods was randomly in there. That's one. But I've always wanted to extensively play and try to figure out Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi. That if you think of like War Gods, Rise of the Robots, Masters of Terrascasi, you kind of get the direction I'm going to go with that show and which games we're going to play. So
If you do play that game, there's a character whose name is Whore.
yeah, but it's not spelled the way you think it's spelled.
Right, right, which means you have to main him.
Yeah, H-O-R, I think that's what it is.
Yeah, it's like
Thank you very much, man.
And as a suggestion, Jackie Chan and Fist of Fire.
Woo! I played that in the arcade, son.
I've never played that.
I think Wooly showed us that game.
I played that at the donut shop.
Man.
Hey, so again, real good job with all the content you put out for the year. I really like what you've been doing on Twitch and stuff.
Thank you.
You said in like a really recent video that something that kind of confused me. That EVO was the biggest tournament for the last 3 to 4 years.
For fighting games?
Yeah, for fighting games.
Yeah.
Why do you think it's the biggest for the last 3 to 4 and not like 10 to 12?
It kind of has. Like, I'm only saying the last 3 or 4 because it's the ones that come into like immediate memory. I can't think of fighting game tournaments. Like, there's been a few in Japan. Like, there was Togeki, but I don't think it's that big. It has like high caliber players, and it's kind of gone a different direction over the past few years. But those are the ones that a lot of us really focused on, like the mid 2000s and stuff. Whatever you wanted. Like that was the tournament that a dude showed up, and no one knew what role canceling was, and he started role canceling against everyone in Capcom vs SNK2, and everyone was like, what's going on? So that was the one that we all like focused on for a really long time, and I'd say EVO's been the biggest. Like I don't know the exact numbers, but it's right. Like EVO over the past 7 years, there hasn't been any like bigger attendance fighting game tournaments, something like that. It's just I just said the last 4 just for recent memory. Thank you, dude. What's up, man?
Thank you so much for getting me into Killer Instinct. No,
It's okay, I guess.
You can't stop. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for all of you guys.
That's awesome. Thank you,
You're
dude.
making a documentary about the fighting game boom if it wasn't for you guys. I wouldn't have made the Steve shirt rage if it wasn't for you guys.
Oh yeah.
Thank you, man.
And I'm just curious. Would it be possible I could get an interview at some point while you guys?
Yeah, dude. Well, we have the last panel of the day, so we can specifically hang out the entire time and like the entire time after. So yeah, thank you, and thank you for making stuff. Like that's really important. The fact that whatever we did in some way over the past few years inspired you to make a documentary or make movies. That's incredible. Thank you, dude. How's it going, dude?
I think we've all seen your gambling problems in Dead or Alive Extreme.
I know what you're talking about.
21! Suck my dick! Yeah!
23, Kenny. 23. Dingus my pingus.
So my question for you is, does that carry over to real life, and how much money have you lost?
Oh, hey. Hey.
Hang on. Can I interject for just a second?
My wife can attest for this. We
All of the
stopped by
money.
Prim. We stopped by Prim, and I was like, I want to hit the spin on the Wheel of Fortune. I want to hit it. I lost $80.
My 21st birthday, he was walking past a roulette table, and he just put 20 down on red 23.
Yes.
Boom, hit it. Like immediately, he just dropped it down, hit it, picked up his money, walked away, didn't even act surprised. Okay? It took a full 20 minutes for me to actually find out he won.
I also drank a liter of Mountain Dew in that same moment.
You did, yeah.
I got to add something real quick. Dude, your shirt is stressing me out. Oh, yeah. All right. You need to get yourself a new shirt immediately. Because...
Well, yeah, you're up 20, aren't you?
What's that?
Aren't you like up for the weekend?
So a small word of warning, which actually is related to another gambling thing that happened today. I got a call like in my room this morning at like 6 a.m., which was saying they were the front desk of my hotel and that our computer system is down and we need your credit card information. So I was like, okay, fine. I just want to go back to sleep. My Jessica's like, don't do it. Don't do it. So I was like, oh. And then eventually, we just hung up on him. But I really regret that I didn't all right, my name's Dingus McPingus. I live at 6969 Dix Avenue. Really regret not doing that. But right after that, we went and we told everyone at the Westgate, and a bunch of people are getting the same thing because it's a convention and somebody knows. Anyway, I was like, I just want to not think about this. So I put 75 cents into one of those stupid spin to win things. and like 75 cents mystically turned into like $150 or something like that. It was bigger than yours.
Ah, you fucker!
I was like, Jessica's around the corner, and I'm like, JJ, it's not stopping. JJ, it's not stopping. Tell me, what do I do?
What the fuck?
So,
I won $120
So
last night,
I beat you. I'm sorry. But I'll buy you guys dinner with it.
Bro, you guys don't even know. I'm up $5.
Jesus!
Five-time Kenny. Five-time. Vegas, baby. Vegas.
To answer that guy's question, yes, it goes very deep. What's up, man?
Hey, great to meet you guys.
Thank you.
My question is for Mike and Simmons.
Uh-oh.
Like, lately Nintendo hasn't been very well received with female Zelda.
Yeah.
The lore-wise.
Right.
Like, my question is, how do you go about fixing the lore?
Do you want to start this? Do you really want to start this right now?
This is actually
begun.
simple. This is actually very simple. You get rid of Fujibayashi because him and his flagship has been, and you can attest to this, he's been a terrible rider since the day came out of his mother's horrid womb.
Oh my
Well,
God!
hey! Now she could be a nice lady
Simmons.
with a shitty son.
We're not on stream.
And you go back to the guy who actually has a freaking film degree, script writing degree, who used to write the lore for the series, and bring him back, or at least just say, hey, you write the lore, we'll figure out the rest of the game.
Oh, I don't want to be that dick, but you could give the series to me.
What?
I'll write a Zelda
okay,
game.
So, Takashi Tezuka is the director of pretty much the first Zelda game, Link to the Past, Link's Awakening. He was supervisory on Ocarina. He was director. He's not a lore writer. They specifically hired Koizumi during the end of Link to the Past to come in and make us a backstory for the instruction book, and then he went from there. So he was never really a lore guy. And he doesn't dislike lore, but he's just kind of like the guy he made the game come together. And specifically, Koizumi was the man who put the mythos into it. That's how you fix that problem, is you bring him back, and not he's in Tokyo and most of Nintendo's in Kyoto, so I don't know if it's a space thing or what, but that's how you fix that problem.
And stop using Ganon.
He's done, yeah.
They need to have other villains that are interesting, not just Ganon.
Hey, every time they've tried, they've not succeeded.
Well, whose fault is that?
Fujibayashi's.
Yes.
Guys, make sure you get raffle tickets, guys. We have a lot of stuff to give away. I almost said something else.
Oh, as far as the female thing goes, that's a really deep-rooted problem, and for that basically that whole society in general. Really, it's just for me. It's just kind of like, if your response is that, even if it was off the cuff and you weren't expecting it, the responses they've given are shockingly out of place in this century.
Thank you for lighting that fire.
We're not finished. All right, guys, get your tickets.
So first, I gotta say that Max, you've been a huge inspiration to me. Actually, kind of the reason why I kind of stuck around you to play any fighting games at all, or even here at Evo is kind of because of the work you've done with your YouTube channel.
Thank you.
And why I'm even making YouTube videos or even trying to stream myself is because of what you've done. And my question is, essentially, how do you kind of find that balance between creating your content for your YouTube channel, doing your streaming, working full time, and your family? Like, how are you able to kind of reverse out all of the stuff you're doing and stay sane, relatively sane?
In everyday life, there's one really critical thing that we all can cut, that you can make a very conscious choice, and it's sleep. Just stop sleeping. It's been rough, and it's kind of been rough for me, and I have a very understanding and helpful waifu that has been helping me out for years with this stuff.
Let's give it up to JJ.
Jessica is my support throughout all this stuff because she's been there ever since we started, ever since I lost my job in online video game production, and I was like, I might try this YouTube thing, which was 5 years ago, and she's been supportive the entire time. But really, it comes down to just caring. Like, if I genuinely wanted to make something about something, I just did it. and I'm super motivated to do something, and I'm like a bullet that's only going through like a tunnel. I can't see anything else but it until it gets finished. So when it comes down to a lot of the projects like I've been talking about for years, like Fighting History and stuff that I've wanted to do, it's been eating at my soul because, well, it isn't so bad because I'm working on Killer Instinct. It's like a dream come true. But that at the same time is like, I know all these people have been waiting for me to like finish the Sesame series, like continue these shows. I've stopped them randomly at times just because I didn't have the time. And I want to get back and get dedicated to doing that again. So if it comes to finding a balance, the balance is just finding that you care and how much you care to get something done. That's about it. Especially for a guy that's making YouTube videos and making content.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, man.
Good question.
What's up, dude?
Hello, Max. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
So anyway, I just wanted to say that your video content is really fun to watch, as well as your streams, creating a bunch of funny moments and everything like.
That's all these guys. That's all these
Of course,
guys.
like Series 21,
Yeah.
and that fight in Street Fighter 4 where you're fighting against you go, you're about to throw your ultra, and then you bulldoze as fast as you want.
It's kind of weird how weird things just tend to happen during boss rages, right? You just go with it.
I know, right? And then there was this picture where you had like an angry expression at the end of the video. I was like, that never seen to make me laugh.
You gotta make it funny, that's all that really matters.
Yeah, I know, thanks. Anyway, I have a question for you. What is your favorite sound clip or voice clip of the fighting games you play? Like Ultra Combo from Killer Instinct, Stage of History,
Oh, man. Immediately know the answer. Immediately know the answer. And I'll ask all you guys what it is, too. You think it's Ultra Combo because I'm a huge Killer Instinct fan and I've been since I was like 13 years old. But the answer is... chicken. Chicken from Tekken 3 is incredible. How about you, Kenny?
It's not a fighting game, but I love it.
Power up.
From Altered Beast. It's just so awesome. Power up.
Steve, you got one?
Yeah, it's not fighting, but I just love it.
Thank you very much, guys, and good luck with the rest of your time.
Thank you, dude. How about you, Steve?
Mine is kind of peculiar because when you go back to Street Fighter, I think it's Alpha Series, you can hear E Honda when he gets hit, he actually says, shit! He actually says, shit! So, yeah, that's one of mine.
Mike, you got anything?
Literally anything said by Jin Satome. I don't even know if I said his name right,
Yeah.
but he's so over the top.
Yeah, that guy's heffed up. Yeah. I'm getting excited you saying it, man. Let's do it.
I don't know who it was or how they did it, but in CVS2, pretty much everything Geese says is just fun because it sounds off. You know, I extend my hand with your bra. And you know, his predictable and crazy. Like, I lose constantly. Yeah, I lose constantly to Max, but I've never enjoyed losing to a character as I do to Geese in CVS2.
I'm so glad he's in KOF 14. I'm so glad.
He's so much fun.
The last fighting game that I played was MK2. So, toasty! Yeah, but everybody says it's not a fighting game. Everybody, no, I'll say it's a fighting game, and then someone's like, Smash isn't a fighting game. And I'm like, what? Okay.
That's nice.
It's whatever you want it to be.
What's up, man?
I realized that.
It's an action platformer.
Thank you, dude. Did you leave? Did you like stop playing at some point?
Yeah, at some point I did stop like 2 or 3 years ago. You brought it back, and
Well, the fact that you're here, like you're at the biggest one, like the biggest event for it all time. Thank you very much, dude. That's awesome, man.
for Simmons, for raging every time he plays a sport game.
Oh yeah.
Every time you do anything ever.
Okay, so the rage is maybe a little dialed up, but I truly I am one of those people who like I don't understand sports games, and I feel like I know he's not, but it feels like Max is cheating every time he plays virtual tennis. It just feels like it.
It's because virtual tennis is the greatest game ever.
Oh my God, here we go. I'm a little more Mario Tennis personally, but you know.
Yeah.
Disgusting.
Question now.
Yeah.
So, what are your future plans for the next couple of years?
I don't even really play it out like that. Like I literally take it one day at a time. And if it's like I have time on that day to do something, like we stream. Or if I have time on that day to make consistent, like a new Hype and Rage video, we stream. So it's one of those things that. Don't worry about that.
You get a real
We're giving
serious
those away,
camel spider problem.
But yeah, it's just I don't really have plans for the next 2 years. My biggest plan is to make the insane amount of people that subscribe to my YouTube channel, my Twitch channel, that are generous enough to give us donations. I just want to make them all happy. Like that is the goal for the next 2 years. Thank you, dude. Have a good one. How's it going?
How you doing? I love you guys so much.
Hey, I love you too.
I remember because I love you guys and I love wrestling at the same time.
Oh.
So I remember when you guys were streaming Dirty All-Stars.
We just put up a compilation of that on the channel.
That game's so good.
It's good. No.
You can say whatever the heck you want.
So my love of wrestling and you guys. So I just want to say what are you guys' favorite wrestlers of all time?
Oh, good question.
We'll start over there.
Who's your favorite wrestler, Andrew?
Fucking Goldberg? I mean, frickin' Goldberg? We're PG in it, right?
It honestly, for me, this is going to sound really weird and kind of fanboyish. It's like I'm not that big of a fan of wrestling, but it depends on the era. Like I have different favorite wrestlers for different eras. Like I liked original Undertaker, and I kind of was a little bit into the Stone Cold thing for a bit, and
Sit down.
Before Rock went Hollywood, before he was even like the top, when he first started, I was like, this guy's cool. He's charismatic. He's gonna be cool. He'll probably be a jobber forever. That was my first thought when he first showed up in WWE. I was super wrong about that. So yeah, it really kind of depends on the era. But I love classic Undertaker a lot. Before he went full biker.
How about you, Mike?
Kane, when he still had the mask.
This is my shit. This is my favorite. Easily.
Nice. Yeah, I started watching wrestling when, like, way back in, like, when it was WWF. Like, that's, like, my wrestling years. So it's got to be Ultimate Warrior. That was, like, the hypest motherfucker, like, in the thing. And then, of course, it ends with The Rock. That's my stop after The Rock left. I was like, okay, I'm done.
You guys think it's Booker T the 5-time? 5-time! But actually, number one is RVD. RVD! RVD!
I only watched wrestling for I think 2 years when I was in high school back in 1979.
Yeah. Dusty
This
Rhodes.
was back during the This was not in general. It was like WCW back then. I'm gonna go with the Edgelord himself. I'm gonna go with Sting.
Sting, yeah.
Sting's good choice.
Sting was fun. Thanks, dude.
Thank you, dude.
I think I know this guy.
Right.
Yeah.
I think I know this guy. What's up, dude?
Oh my God.
That's all.
This is
Get outta
Hurtbox,
here.
everyone.
Hurtbox!
This is one of our mods in the chat.
First thing I want to say, thank you, Max, and the crew. I mean, I got back during the Doom Assist me. That's when I followed you.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, and that made me make my own channel.
That's awesome.
And now
So
the channel's awesome.
this guy's got some of the biggest viewed Tekken videos like on the internet. For you
Hurtbox,
guys that don't
guys.
know, he's been making Tekken tutorial
Yeah.
videos for years.
If you want some nasty combos.
And you've been calling me out for a while. I'm watching you. Get ready.
Here we go. First off, why do you keep ducking me?
Boo! Boo! We want to fight!
Right over there.
Let's go. After the panel, we're going.
Can't settle it in Smash.
Settle it, Smash.
Smash. I'll give it to you if I can.
I really, personally, it doesn't bother me one way or the other.
You're making me look like a dick now, though.
Thank you, Dr. Pop.
All right, thank you guys.
Have a good one, man.
Thank you.
Everybody watch Steve lose to Hurt Box after the panel.
Was your breakfast salty good?
The whole video games crew, I've been a huge fan of you guys ever since, I think, around when you guys were still uploading the Wesker episodes of the system. So,
Wow, nice.
OG. I actually have a question from a friend of mine who wasn't able to make it out in Vegas.
Okay.
He was wondering, what was the first fighting game all of you played?
First, just in general, like that you can remember,
Yeah,
like.
as far back as you can possibly remember.
That's Street Fighter 2, like Street Fighter 2 in arcades. Yeah, I remember picking Blanca because he was like a spiky Sonic. Like, there's a green Sonic the Hedgehog, so I'm like, I'm gonna do that. It's gonna be cool.
I saw Street Fighter 1. I was too intimidated. I saw people. I'm like, I can't play it. I was like a little tiny kid, and then Street Fighter 2 came out, and it was Street Fighter 2.
I'm kind of an old man, so I don't know if any of you remember, but
Don't say.
I'm gonna do it. Way back in like Nintendo days, I used to play a game called Karate Champ. Yes. And I used to go ham with my brother, and that's when it's something ignited, and I just started playing fighting games ever since.
What you like?
Okay, so the very first one I played, period, was Street Fighter 2. But I didn't understand it. There was just a bigger kid yelling, "Hit strong and fierce! Keep hitting strong and fierce!" And I lost a lot. So the first game I got into was Mortal Kombat. On Sega Genesis.
I get them mixed up a bit, but I think it's Yi Air Kung Fu or Kung Fu one. I think Kung Fu's single player, so I think it's Yi Air Kung Fu is the one that actually has two-player fighting. That's the first one I ever actually played on a technical level, if you count that. So.
All right, cool.
It doesn't count. Mortal Kombat 1 on Genesis. Played that with my brother all the time.
Actual blood, yeah, I remember that.
Blood code.
Yeah.
Who remembers a time when blood in a fighting game like caused the ESRB to even be created? Are you guys around for that? I remember I do remember a point where my wonderful mom purchased me Super Street Fighter 2 and it had T for teen, and I'm like, I'm so cool. It's a teen game, I'm so cool. Thank you though, dude.
So I actually had one more suggestion for fighting game history.
Sure.
You ever heard of Dual Heroes for the Nintendo 64?
I have. I'll have to ask him. I've never heard of it.
Yes.
Look it up, that game is terrible.
Well, I mean,
if it's playable, okay. All right. Terrible, that's good. Oh my God.
There are a lot of
Show's
bad
canceled.
N64 fighters. I mean, he could dedicate like a half a year.
Fighter Destiny?
Yeah, just to all the like N64 fighters.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Have a good one. What's up, dude?
What's going on? First of all, I want to say I don't know whether to thank you or be mad at you for getting me into fighting games. Well, it's usually all, but since then, my blood pressure's up, I have more salt, and now I have chlamydia.
That went from 0 to 30
But you're here
really
at Evo.
fast.
Steve can take care of that for you. Oh, he's a doctor at chlamydia.
So, my question is, I was watching your Overwatch videos, and you had Persona music in the background.
Yeah.
And I saw you have a Persona 5 bag to give away. So I was wondering if in the future you were gonna do like maybe stream or play any Persona games or Persona 5 when it comes out.
So real talk, I've always loved anime, and I've been really trying to keep it from everyone for the longest time. Absolutely. If y'all ever seen this channel, you know this. And I've always wanted to play the Persona games, but I'm just scared that no one will accept me. I'm just kidding. That was Ender Gamma. He did the editing on those videos. He has wonderful music taste, and those videos are fun to watch because of him. So you can thank Ender Gamma for those, and I was like, I have no problem with that. It's just, I played P4. Not P4, P4A, Persona 4 Arena, and as much as like, Wooly can tell me that you should be playing more of that game. I know, it's just that it's got all these characters, and I get attached to characters in fighting games. I'm fickle as hell. Like, I gotta have someone cool, or some girl that's like super awesome, like biking, to really like it. Yeah, it's gotta have a Shoto. Yeah, it needs to have a Shoto. Yeah. But Does it mean that we won't play like other big anime stuff in the future? Absolutely not. That's like the whole point of Anime Saturdays is that we've been specifically missing out on a huge like legion of fighting games from the PS2 era that we'll be able to play now, and that's what we want to do.
And as far as like the other games go, just in general, rule of thumb, we don't do a lot of RPGs on the stream because they just take too long. Now Max will do Final Fantasy VII because he knows Final Fantasy VII in and out, and he can make that interesting. And they're hard games to stream, especially when you don't know anything about them. But
or if you spend like 3 days in between and you forgot where you were.
Where you were. Oh yeah, because if you do, if you have a break of a week or a few days that you completely forget. Me and Andrew sometimes do a Saturday morning stream, so that might be where you might see an RPG or two on that stream if possible. But just in general for RPGs, it's hard to stream them because there's so much build up and the startup and all that stuff. So that's why maybe you don't see as many RPGs.
Honestly, I just have a huge respect for you guys. Like, just a ton of respect, just for all the hard work you guys do. It's hard not to be subscribed to you guys. And,
thank you, dude.
And of course, all the donations, guys. You guys deserve it.
Thank you very much.
My question is, is there anything that we all know when we saw like Cloud being introduced in Smash, that was like huge. Like, so my question is like, is there like any character in any game in general that you just desperately want to see in fighting games at all? Like.
Yeah, so the first two names I heard were like it. You all know me way too well. I want Rock Howard to come back in some way. I know he's probably not coming back in KOF 14.
Predictable.
Yeah, right. Shut up, Dad. Other than that, Spawn, and not like the crappy Soul Calibur 2 Spawn. Like, give a Spawn that actually attacks people with his cape and chains. Like, make him really cool. Yeah. That's like a dream come true to me. I thought it was in Soul Calibur 2, and then he was like, he's got an axe.
Yeah.
That's it. I'd say Rock and Spawn.
All right, so, I mean, a lot of my dream characters have come out. So maybe Injustice 2, and it's Warner Brothers, I'd like to see Agent Smith or Neo in Injustice 2. It'd be cool guest characters.
They brought him back in Street Fighter V, but he's not a playable character. So hopefully they will make him a playable character later on in the future. I gotta go with my boy Sean.
Like, he has to make a comeback. Sean has to make a comeback in Street Fighter.
That'd be cool.
I don't know. It's a really good question, actually. I'm gonna just go with my gut on this one, and Simmons will probably back me, and I'm gonna say Dark Side.
Yes. Yeah, really good
happen,
Dark Side
right?
would be excellent.
That has to happen, right? There's like no way
it
that's
has
not
to
gonna
happen.
happen.
Actually, to kind of twist that question around, I have wanted since 2003 for Namco to just take the Soul Calibur engine and make a whole game based with Zelda characters, like a weapon-based fighter. That's basically Soul Calibur, maybe one tiny pointless gimmick or whatever, and like a magic meter or whatever. And actually not that, because I hate that in Soul Calibur 5. Just make a Soul Calibur game with just Zelda characters. To me, that would be fantastic. And Nintendo, they could money hat that. Yeah, we got. I just beat that game too, and I'm like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. But yeah.
I want Tingle. Give me Tingle. Tingle or the Postman. You can't get away from the Postman, Simmons.
Who wants to see Skullomania
Can
make
anyone
a
think
comeback?
of someone that could beat Tingle? No one can beat Tingle. Everyone fears Tingle.
Thank you very much, dude.
Hi. His name's also Max. You know, your content's awesome.
Go away.
There can be only one. So my question is, a lot of your content is geared towards introducing and bringing new faces to the FGC, and obviously you're starting a new series. But obviously you also want to balance it for some bets of the FGC to be entertained. So what's your philosophy around managing the channel around both new faces and bets for the FGC?
In all honesty, for like veterans of the FGC, I try to just make it as entertaining as possible. Like really, the only way you're going to give new information about a fighting game is if you play it just as much as they do and discover some crazy new tech, which is something that is, for me now, not really possible. Back in the day was my whole goal. That was my entire goal, like furiously going through the SRK forums and finding stuff and posting stuff for years from 2005 to like 2011. And it just was too much. Like I did to keep that good, to be that good at that level and to have that much knowledge and information and matchup experience just in one game is crazy. So it kind of shows you how nutty it is when you get some of these guys that are like multi-fighting game lingual, how much patience and how much games it takes. It's a literal skill and it's crazy. So if it comes to making entertainment, because that's what I believe I do. I mean, if people are able to pick up a week, like a week of, and watch it and just like copy what I'm doing, if I'm having a little bit of success, that's awesome. That's actually how I learned how to play fighting games. And I was watching somebody do something good and being like, I'll give that a shot. That seems like a good strategy. And it's just remaining as entertaining as possible. That's pretty much been the goal for the past like 3 or 4 years. Thank you, dude. What's up, man?
I can't. I have a shield. Sorry.
Okay.
You might see this in the first anime.
Oh, dude, I just saw the fan art. This is super sick. Yeah. Thank you very much, man. I get to give you posters now. Thank you so much, dude. Oh, that's awesome. So yeah, and that's just one thing. You might see the artwork rolling on the side here. We have perhaps some of the most dedicated and amazingly talented artists that have given us work over the past 4 years. That it's incredible. Giant round of applause, please, for the guys that have done any artwork for us at any point. Like, it's awesome.
What you guys don't know is that we appreciate you guys so much that we actually have a dedicated poster dedicated to like most of the artists that make.
So this is the Illuminati, which they call it. And this was birthed from a whole bunch of fan arts that were essentially on our channel, and then we got all the guys together to do a print of them in Marvel vs. Capcom style, like looking at each other. So if you're one of the artists that made this, please sign it.
You must sign.
And you have to come up here and sign this.
We'll be giving these out as well.
Thank you very much, man. Sure.
I know you guys do like most fighting games on your channel, but this is kind of a weird question. What is the one fighting game you have never played?
Never played
before? Yeah.
There's a lot. Like there's so many out there. That's kind of the point of fighting history, is to play some of the weird ones that aren't like exactly popular. I don't think I've ever actually played Star Wars Masters of Terrascasi, like things like that. So it's to go back and actually play those games. I have a very deep, like painfully emotional attachment to Rise of the Robots, because it was like the first game I ever got scammed on when I was a kid. So that has to be the first one. Like I just want to rip that game a new one. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you, man. What's up, dude? First game where I actually was even introduced to like you can go to tournaments and like win money and stuff like that. This is so far back in time, back to the 40s, where you would know like mom and pop shops. There was a lot of like mom and pop shops back in the day. There used to be in Santa Monica like a Dreamcast or a Japanese import store in Dreamcast. And these stores would hold just tournaments. So the first game I was ever like, oh, the store I frequent as having a tournament was Tekken 3. And that was the first time like they had a tournament like every week, and I went to as many as I possibly could because I had to get my parents to drive me 60 miles to go do that. And they did when I at least like 11, like seriously 11 years old or something like that. So Tekken 3 is definitely the game, the very first game where I really wanted to get good because there were other people around me that were challenging me to get better.
Yeah. It had to be, for me, it had to be Mortal Kombat 2. It was like right at the height of it, and it was just crowds, and like my thing was like, oh my, I want to put on a good show. I want people to be like, oh shit, look what he did. And like when Mortal Kombat 2 came out and people were just looking at it, I just wanted to put on a good show. There'd be like a crowd of people behind the arcade machine, and I just wanted to.
That feeling, that's
feeling.
So here's the thing. A lot of people don't know like that feeling, and it kind of comes inherently with streaming nowadays, but when you were in arcades, like there were certain times when you go into an arcade and there's just like 14 to 15 people huddled around some game. And you're like, what's going on? And there's this guy like blasting through House of the Dead or something. Or is this guy just destroying people in Alpha 2? And yeah, that was like for a very, very, very long time in my life. That was like, I want to be that person. I want to be the person to do that. I want to be the person to go up there to draw a crowd. People to be like, he parried Chun-Li's whole super. Who was that guy? Like things like that were huge motivating factors. And it's really bizarre that as time went on, I play in front of a stream of thousands. Like that still, it racks my brain that it all kind of came full circle in some way.
Yeah, it was Mortal Kombat 2 that did that to me. It was the crowds and and wanted to put on a good show for everyone I was watching.
For me, it's a long time ago. I had two Filipino neighbors that were like obsessed with Street Fighter. They even showed me their original Street Fighter animated movie, the one with like the naked Chun-Li. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they used to like murder me in Street Fighter 2 on the Super NES. So I finally got the game at home, and I practiced every day. And then when I finally went over to their house and I wrecked them, I threw it in their face, and I never let them regret it. Like, it was
Steve
the greatest thing ever.
really celebrates victory. I don't know if you guys have noticed.
I don't know. No, yeah.
Steve loves
It was
celebrating
victory.
victory.
It was a little bit. It was a little bit.
As someone who doesn't play fighting games, I don't know. Watch Dogs is pretty cool.
What that guy said.
It's kind of like twofold for me. There was way back in the early mid-'90s, my brother somehow screwed someone in a trade for a copy of Street Fighter Turbo. And that was like the first time I got really interested in learning the mechanics of a fighting game. And then going beyond just learning how it works was actually the first Soul Calibur 1, because it got 4 10s in EGM, and I thought that was bullcrap. I was like, good as Ocarina of Time, impossible. And I scoffed at it, and then magically, a demo unit ended up at our local EB Games, and I played the game, and I kept playing it, and I kept playing it, and I kept playing it, and that's kind of when I first met Max and a bunch of people, and we formed a stupid little fight club.
We did, yeah. This is like in 2001 or something like that, where we would gather at a friend's house with like 14 dudes and have CVS2 tournaments and Soul Calibur 1 tournaments.
And,
and
the thing
I
was,
forgot about that.
Soul Calibur 1 was the game that it got me to understanding mind games, like knowing your opponent. Because a lot of times when you first start a fighting game, you're fighting to understand the mechanics. You're fighting to understand the spacing and like the proper input timing and all that. And that's a hard jump for a lot of newcomers. And Soul Calibur 1 was, I think, because with Super Street Fighter, just Street Fighter Turbo, it was really just my brother and some of my family members, and they didn't know what the hell they were doing. So it really wasn't that, but it was like Soul Calibur 1 was when I got over that hump and learned about, I know exactly how to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Now it's about knowing my opponent and knowing what he wants to do and countering that. So it would be probably Soul Calibur 1 in a sense like that.
It had already been out for like a long, long time. But you remember at Game World when Rodney would host those like friendly tournaments and stuff? That's when I started.
That was the
hanging
friend's
out.
house we were talking about, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, that's when we all started hanging, or I started hanging out with you guys. And I remember, I think it was Melee. It was Melee, and I just didn't want to lose. I didn't want to be last. That's it. So, and I remember going home and like playing against my brother. And I'll get obsessive about it. I really don't like losing at all. It's like nom. Anyway, point being is that was the first fighting game that I ever actually I really, really wanted to play. And granted, apparently not a fighting game. I'm just towing that line now. But yeah, I remember that being a thing, and I think it was always because we all kind of came up in arcades. Yeah. And so being in the presence of people, fighting games online never appealed to me. Fighting games in person, I'm always down for, even though I'm going to lose. Terribly usually, mostly to Simmons. But I think that was like the first game that I really liked, and I always liked that experience.
What it really boils down to, and thank you very much for your question, man, I appreciate it. What it really boils down to with any fighting game, anything that you're going to say competitively, you have to look at the reason you want to win. And even when I started going to like bigger weekly Ranbat tournaments, which were at the right when Street Fighter 4 came out, there was like arcade versions in SoCal. Does anyone remember the crazy Street Fighter 4 craze in SoCal? Was anyone there for that back in like 2008? Like it was crazy. So we went there constantly trying to like competition and stuff like that. And I found something about myself that made me realize like why I'm into like fighting games competitively, because as you're sitting there waiting for your turn and doing very well amongst these Ranbats, I realized I just wanted to play the games. Like I didn't like waiting around. I just wanted to find people that were around like my similar skill level and to have good games. Like that didn't really enjoy blowing people out. That doesn't feel satisfying, much less getting blown out by somebody else. The element to fighting games of the good game, of like a close match, is something that is unrivaled. I think it is something that's unique to this genre, and even when you see it in tournaments here, like a close match is absolutely beautiful. So that's, I think, my motivation ever since then has been, I just want really good games with people that are around my skill level.
Yeah, and I think that's why you and Steve were just so good friends, and one more and one
more.
Oh
yeah, one more.
Because it was
one more.
addicting.
I mean, I hate sandbagging sometimes, for Max, because it takes him some time to actually catch up to me and stuff. But I mean, when he does, then it becomes a good game and stuff like that. But you got to be cool. You got to be nice with him.
This bitch.
Thanks for the question. Okay.
But I know you mentioned it before.
What's up?
But in the future, 20X will you ever do a video or try to focus on music?
Yes. Okay, so there's this thing that's been constantly communicated to me over time. And outside of like Salty Bet and things like that, there is a build that was created on Mugen of Capcom versus SNK 3 that looks like super polished and actually has crazy looking mechanics and like 80 to 90 characters. And I have never actually fired up Mugen before, other than like watching Salty Bet on Twitch. So that's some of the things that I would love to do. I would love to just go into something that looks as cool as that, with the crazy like cancels left and right and just going ham on each other. That sounds like a blast. So if it's going to be one thing, and people have sent it to me before, and I know I want to do it, Capcom versus SNK 3, the fan build is, oh yeah, I want to do that really bad.
I am a Mugen aficionado. I have a ton of characters in my folders. I have all different versions of Goken, Shenlong, a bunch of different versions of Evil Ryu. There's like Evil Dan and Evil Sakura and all this crazy stuff. There's Dawson's. There's all these created characters too. There's like this 3D generated character that has like, doesn't even have arms. He has like spikes coming out of his hands, and Dragon Claw. Oh my God, it was the greatest character. I think the author had died.
Greatest character.
Yeah, it was
the
so
greatest.
Cool. Yeah, the greatest Mugen character.
He's like as cool as Devil Jin, right?
No, he was like aerodynamic
All right.
type of stuff. All I know is that Mugen is like one of the best fan-based games out there, and even though it's broken as hell, it's one of the greatest things that the people out there have created. So
thank you very much for your question, man.
Thank you.
So, like I said, just to recap, at the end of this, we're going to have several giveaway options. Now, every single person in here is able to get a poster that was made by Justin Durden that is signed by every single one of us, and if it isn't signed by somebody, you can easily get it signed by them. And it's also signed by Benny. Benny signed like 300 posters, and he couldn't be here. There he is, fake Benny.
Stunt Benny.
Outside of that, we also have, hopefully everyone got one of the Benny buttons that you hopefully did get. If you didn't, we have more. And we also have, like I said, subscriber badges, which you can choose 2 of. And then you can trade if you want to get something different with someone else. So those are all going to be absolutely free. And then for the raffle giveaway, we have several things that we're going to be giving away. For Anime Saturday, somebody drew us art of us all in body pillow form, and his name is Dash Zero.
Yes.
The art was so good that I immediately commissioned him for all of them, and I got body pillows made within a week. These are the most expensive body pillows that can ever exist. Like they're about $100 each, and they're absolutely free from the raffle.
So make sure you have your ticket.
There's one for each of us, and there's one for Benny, and of course everyone's going to want Benny.
Yeah.
So we'll choose one at some point. We're going to be giving away posters. So the raffle, if you guys don't have a ticket, the raffle tickets are over here.
Yeah.
So when you come up for a poster and stuff like that, we'll start giving away raffle tickets.